Let's see now how we can use these headers in practical applications and to see how it helps. So for example, here we've got an operating period. It says interest of 100 Rand is charged monthly. That's great. But for tax purposes, only deductible when the business is operational. Guess what? We've got a header here that tells us when it's not operational and operational. So what we could do, I'm going to just start over here. I can build an if function. And the if function simply says, look at that cell over there. Are you equal to 1? If you are, that's what we're going to be charged with dollar signs. If not, a 0. I can then copy that and paste it. And you'll see it automatically does the calculation. Because of the way we've set up these operational periods with zeros and ones, we don't even have to do such a complex formula. I'm just going to delete it. What we could just as easily have done is gone equals whatever's in that cell multiplied by an amount. I can copy and paste it, and we get the same number. For the next item, we were going to use our cumulative months. So we've got some sort of a management agreement. They're going to pay us 100, or we have to pay someone 150, but it only starts after month 15. The amount could change, the month could change. So here we're going to build an if function, but the important thing here is, do we use cumulative months or months in a year? So here it's going to be cumulative months. So I can build my if function, and I'm going to say, look at the cumulative months. Is it bigger than whatever's in that cell with the dollar signs? If it is, use that number with dollar signs. Otherwise, use 0. You can copy it and paste it. So you'll see at the moment it only starts in month 150. If for whatever reason someone changes this and says, no, we have to start paying after month 6, I can type a 6 there, and automatically it updates. This should then flow into your financial model and affect the results. The next one, we've got some VAT payments we need to make, but you'll see VAT payments are paid every 2 months, and they're made in the even numbered months. So again, we've got our headers here, and we're going to use the month as a number. But just as an aside, part of best practice is to use whatever Excel's got built into it. Now, even numbers, you could try and do some sort of fancy formula of taking the number and dividing it by 2 and comparing it. But guess what? If you look hard enough, you'll find a function in Excel called isEven. And what that does is it says, look at the number and just give me a true or false if it's even or not. So you'll see I get a false there, but if I copy it across, I get true, false, etc. What I could do here is I could then build an if function around it, or what I'm going to do is just build it here. So I'm going to say if that cell over there equals true. Just notice I've got no inverted commas there. I'll explain that to you just now. If it's true, take that number there with dollar signs. If it's false, put a 0. And you'll see we've now got calculation. It'll make sure we make payments every 2nd month. Just as mentioned earlier, when you've got true or falses, just understand that in Excel's terms, a true is actually a 1 and a false is a 0. So firstly, what that means is when you do an if function, you don't need to put inverted commas around it because Excel understands true as being a 1. We could also replace the word true with a 1, or I can go equals whatever's in there multiplied by that number with dollar signs. And because Excel sees that as 0, it'll give us a 0. And because it sees a true as a 1, it'll give us a 1. So multiply by 1 and give us the correct number. Now we've got taxman, and we pay taxes to the taxman in the 2nd month and the 8th month. But we want to be able to change that potentially. So what we want to do is just create a trigger or some sort of something that we can use as a header so that we get a 1 when we're in one of the months, either month 8 or month 2. Which function should you use? Well, what you can try is the OR function. Why is that? Because if you say it out loud, what we're going to ask Excel is, look at that month. Is it that month? Or look at that month. Is it this month? So it's an OR function. So I'm going to look for the OR function. I've now conveniently got my months up here. I'm going to say, is that cell over there equal to whatever's typed in here with dollar signs? Is this cell over here equal to that cell there? So okay. At the moment it's going to give me a true or false. So you'll see I get falses and true. If I want zeros or ones, I could use the if function or put my double negative in. And you'll see now we get zeros and ones. If someone now says, okay, we're actually paying in month 6 and month 12, you'll notice that now the ones occur in the correct months. And if you've got calculations attached to it, the cash flows would move. What happens if we now want to take, here's a whole bunch of monthly data. So it's all the way up to there. And now what we want to do is we want to annualize it. So we want to add up anything that belongs in year 1, year 2, etc. So what you could do manually is go equal sum and add up the first 12, and then you have to go and keep doing it. But remember, part of good practice is create one formula, copy it all the way across, and conveniently up here we have an indicator which shows us which are month 1s and which one are month 2, or year 2, sorry. So I'm going to use a function called SUMIF. I'm going to tell Excel, please look at whatever year you want to add. Compare it to our header over here. I'm going to put dollar signs on. And now Excel needs to know if it finds a match, what must it add up? We're going to say add up whatever's there. When I say OK, it gives me a number. More importantly, I can copy it across and I get numbers like this. So that's quite useful. It saves you a lot of time, a little bit less risky than manually trying to add it up. But more importantly, if someone now comes to you and says, actually I don't want annual numbers, I want semi-annual numbers, instead of having to change all these formulas, all you need to go do is up in the summarizing period. For the first 6 months we want it to be 1. From here we're going to say 2, then you're going to put a 3 there. Let's just copy these across. And we're going to put a 4 here. And guess what? Once you've changed your headers, let's come look down here, immediately the calculation updates itself. So the headers can make your life significantly easier.